So I will call the meeting to order. It is, where did all the timekeeping things go? It's 7:34. Welcome. All right, and we have a new member. Well, we actually have two new members, although Tommy introduced himself last time. But we also have our new member here. So we're going to do a lightning round of introductions. Who you are, how long you've been on the ESC, and your favorite sustainability topic. I'll start. Tiana, chair. This is my 4th year, I think. And I'm obviously wild about the EV showcase.
I'm Rebecca Nierenberger. I joined in November 2024. And I would say I'm interested in and excited about just general community buy-in to what we do.
Stephen Ingalls. I'm replacing Kevin Fontanella as the liaison to the school committee. My wife and I, Myra used to be on ESC probably 3 years ago.
When I started.
Yeah. So we are in favor of pretty much most of the initiatives that come out of the ESC. I think that some real positive work comes out of this group. That they're very civically minded and engaged. So happy to join your meetings. This is the first time I've had a chance to liaise with ESC. So pleasure to meet you all, and thanks for your volunteer time.
Maggie.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm volunteering with ESC for the summer, and I'm probably most passionate about pollinator gardens.
Yeah. Lily.
Hello, I'm Lily Ginther. I've been on ESC for, is it 2 years, I think? And I think I'm most passionate about waste reduction initiatives.
Tina.
Lily stole my spiel. I'm Christina Oldsbury. I've been on the ESC about 2-ish years. Topics of interest is waste reduction, and I participate in those efforts as much as I can.
Tommy.
Hello, everyone. I know I introduced myself last time, but I'm Tommy. I've been on ESC for a month. And favorite sustainability topic, probably anything with clean energy. So like EVs, solar, anything like that.
And Stefan.
Hello, Steve. Stefan Spears, I actually same timeline as Lillian and Christina. My topics are generally outdoor stuff and EVs.
Awesome. Cool. All right. And we have a couple other liaisons who aren't here, but we can let them introduce themselves when they arrive. The only other regular ESC member, not liaison from a different group, is Melissa, who you know, I'm sure, from her long time on the committee. She's not here tonight. She's currently vice chair. And she's real into waste reduction and decarbonization roadmap, if I could speak on her behalf. All right, first order of business, shall we tackle the minutes from the July 10th meeting? Which Lily sent out to y'all a few days ago.
Motion to approve? Is that what you're looking for?
I hear a motion from Lily. I just heard a second from Rebecca. Lily, I'm saying that out loud in case you're taking on that.
I am.
Thank you. Great. Any discussion? Okay, then we will vote. And I'm going to go in alphabetical order because that's what makes my brain not hurt. And we don't. Christina.
Yes.
Lily.
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Stefan.
Yes.
Stephen.
I will abstain.
Tommy.
Yes.
And Tiana, I'm a yes. So that is approved. Thank y'all. So let's do some updates on our ongoing initiatives. I'm gonna pause on updates about composting and food rescue because I think Cheyenne might dial in at some point soon. So we'll save that one in case she's gonna show up in a few minutes. So let's talk about events. Can we have a recap of the sports swap?
Sure, I can give you a quick recap of that. So it was held on August 2nd at the farmers market. We started off with a pretty good haul of stuff from the recycling event, and we had pretty good traffic, I would say, throughout the event. A lot of people very appreciative of it. A lot of people commenting on how it was a great idea. So kudos to Christina again, because I think it was your idea from last year. And yeah, I mean, I think it went pretty well. A lot of people asked if we were coming back next week. So we had to tell them, no, unfortunately, it's just once a year. And next year, I guess we'll have to think of different ways to advertise it maybe and get the word out a little bit more. But I would say overall a success.
Wonderful, well done. And I don't know if you saw, there was a picture from it in the item.
I did see that, yes.
Nice to see. So, very good.
Mhm.
Anne says, sorry, have an internet issue. Okay. And Cheyenne, I see that you've joined. We'll get to food rescue stuff in, well, actually, I'll take my chair's prerogative and jump back to that, and then we can do the upcoming events. As you all know, we do, well, or as most of you know, we do some support of the food rescue and composting at lunchtimes at the schools. This is an initiative that has been largely spearheaded by Cheyenne, who is not a member of the committee, but is an outstanding volunteer. And so we take, get a nice little break in the summer, and then we start it right back up again in the fall, and it is almost that time. So Cheyenne, I know you said over email you didn't have any particular news and updates, but anything new we should be thinking about, or any prep you need help with, et cetera?
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I hope you can hear me. I'm actually in my car, so I apologize I can't be in video. No update, I think, from your email. That was super helpful. I'm trying to get a hold of the director of, actually she's Stoneham, but she works out of Wakefield. So to get a meeting with the director of Stoneham to see if maybe they can pick up the slack or incorporate Friday pickup if the Wakefield location is still going to pick up Wednesday. So that way we'll get that on both ends, for the rest of the week. Ideally, that would be an ideal standpoint. If not, then like we talked about, posting those 2 volunteer opportunities as a backup to, continue on the program. That would be super helpful to kind of keep it going. For this fall, since we're getting close, I'll continue to spearhead that. And anyone who wants to help, please feel free to reach out and coordinate together, just like we did in prior, couple of years where we kind of help kick it off, work with the principal to see, when they want to start that, and then make new signs. And so then really just go from there. I think maybe in a few weeks or now we'll kick off an email to the principal if they are checking the email to see what their thoughts are. Usually they like to kind of wait a couple weeks after school starts to kind of get that, going. But now that they've been doing it full on for a year now, last year, maybe their thinking could change.
Yeah, so if anyone has daytime availability and would be willing to pop into a lunch or two at the elementary schools, it's always a big help to have some human bodies in the room for a couple of lunches when we first kick off, just to stand near the barrels and remind the kids what is and is not compostable and food rescuable. Since we have to cover all the elementaries, it helps to have a few folks. So email myself and Cheyenne if you have availability. Cheyenne, I'll let you know my days available, but I figure I'd be Woodville person for that. Yeah, and I sent out your call for volunteers to the ESC email list, the big email list. I haven't heard anything back, but hopefully some folks might be interested. And I got in touch with the principal to Woodville to see if, and gave them the job posting that we had used last year to get the senior volunteer. So last year we used a senior from the senior center. They do a program where folks can volunteer in town and get tax credit write-off situation. So we had three folks do that at two different of the elementary schools to help with the food rescue and composting, and that was a big help. So Woodville is potentially doing that again this year, but they are running with it rather than it coming through us. So. Yeah, and Cheyenne, any further thoughts on getting either the middle school or high school doing stuff?
Yeah, I think my husband touched base with Dustin, the food director, I think at the end of the school year. And from what I gather, it's more resistance on the principal's part. So I think it's a matter of really convincing her to be willing to do it. They are ready. I mean, the infrastructure is there. And from what Dustin said last year, again, every year is different, but the infrastructure is there, the fridge is there, the staff is willing to help. So it's a matter just of them kicking it off for us. No news on the high school. I can talk to Dustin once it's back again and see what his thoughts are. But I think high school, they don't really generally have a lot of waste just because it is an a la carte type program. And so there's very little wastage or food to be picked up. And when they do, it's really a one-time thing where, he'll text me and say, hey, we have a box of sandwiches, are you available to pick it up? So usually if we're available last minute, we'll go pick it up right away. So it hasn't been a whole lot at the high school just because of the nature of the program there.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There's also change in schools. For example, Mary at Greenwood is, retired. The janitor at Dolbear retired. So we're have to navigate it with the new folks once we kick it off. But we'll leave it up to the principal with that email and see what he says.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, if there's new folks, we can help get them up to speed on the program and what to do with all the stuff, all of that.
Definitely. But yeah, the volunteer in terms of monitoring the first couple weeks, getting the kids to do the, knowing what to put with each bin, that would be super helpful with the volunteer work there.
Great. All right. So folks, let myself and Cheyenne know if you're interested and available. And that'll be in just a few weeks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheyenne, thank you for joining us. And since I know you're driving, feel free to hop back off. Glad you're able to dial in.
Right.
Back to events. So we've got 3 events on the upcoming calendar. First is the EV Showcase, which is a week from Sunday. It'll be the 24th, 10 to 1. We did land on a location. We'll be at Veterans Field, the parking lot by where the farmers market happens, but it's a Sunday, so there will not be a farmers market at the time. Last I checked, we had 15 cars signed up, including the new police cruiser, the new electric police cruiser, which obviously is not a vehicle that anyone is going to buy for their household, but it is darn cool and it'll be fun to get to see it in person. Gas and Light will be there with a couple of their vehicles, and we have like a good variety, like a better mix of vehicles than past years even. So that's looking good. And there's one electric car dealership nearby that has offered to bring whatever we don't have, perhaps. So I'm in touch with them to see what they have that they could bring that is not already signed up. So that'll be cool. There's one personal vehicle coming that has the capability to do vehicle to appliance, like can power appliances. You can plug in your household stuff. So if anyone has something that would be really cool and interesting plug-in, like if you have a wacky wavy inflatable arm guy like the car dealers have, or like a lava lamp is too subtle, like something that would be visible and interesting that we could plug in to the car and show off that it is capable of that. Let me know. We might want to borrow such a thing.
Plug in the blender and make smoothies.
We could. That would be kind of fun. We were thinking about it like cotton candy machine or something too. We could try bringing a blender. I think we would then have to go through the health department and tell them that we're making, I mean, unless this person individually brings their own blender and we just don't, it's not our blender.
I was also thinking if you knew anyone that played electric guitar.
Yes, that is actually the current best idea. Yes. So if anyone has other ideas of things we could plug in, let me know. Posters are up all over town. I think I've hit all of like the coffee shop bulletin boards, but if there's anywhere that you see that you want, I have like 1 or 2 more flyers in the bag. We could certainly use some more vehicles. So if you know anyone, let's see, with a VW, whatever, a Subaru, Solterra, Honda, Prologue, or a Lucid. We don't have any of those yet, so tap them on the shoulder. Or Stefan, are you coming?
We already had family plans for the 24th, so
Okay, so then we don't have an Audi either. So if you see one of those floating around, you might be the only one in town. So tap your neighbors and friends if they have a cool vehicle that we don't have yet. Talk it up. We're particularly excited to talk about the EVs right now because the tax credit ends at the end of September. So if folks are looking to hustle and get a vehicle before that ends, now's the time. And is anyone planning to come and wants to help with like setup and stuff?
I could come and help.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, Tiana, if you guys had the Hyundai Ioniq. It's not the one that you have. I have a 2021. So it's different.
Yeah, great, bring it.
So I will come with my vehicle.
Sounds good. Thank you. Awesome.
So did the dealer reach out to you or did you reach out?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, they reached out and said, we've got a whole variety of things. We could bring something. So I told them the list of what we have currently and we'll see what they show up with. That's great. Yeah. I did also reach out to 1 or 2 specific maker dealerships in the area for things that we don't have. We've done that in the past. We had a Lucid and someone else come from a dealership. And as long as they aren't too salesy, it's fine. They've been pretty well behaved in the past. Oh, and someone reached out who is an expert in or an advisor in the Massachusetts tax credit, the more EV credit. Something going on. Sorry about that. That was a little bit alarming. So there's an expert in the Massachusetts tax credit who's also going to come and bring a table and talk about the Massachusetts tax credit. So yeah, so it'll be fun. That is coming up. Tell your friends and neighbors. Anything else about the EV showcase? Any other ideas, questions? And Lily, we don't have extra sports equipment that you wanted to bring to that, right?
No, I think we're okay. We really just have a couple items and I'm just gonna bring them over to Goodwill.
Okay.
Probably not
sounds
worth it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are we doing electric scooters and things like that or no? And
I
e-bike?
would love to. I have not been as actively tapping those folks as past years, but if you know some, bring them. I think they're a great addition to the event.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think we have any signed up explicitly yet. But yeah, I think that'd be great.
Okay, great.
So the next event coming up is then Town Day on the Common. So we are signed up for that. That is on Saturday, September 27th, 1 to 4, as the name suggests, on the Common. I think for that one, we'll do our usual table info, talking about, well, by September 27th, if you haven't figured out what EV you're getting, you're probably a little late for the tax credit. But maybe we can talk about solar. We can talk about our resilience efforts, anything else going on. We can do the what is compostable guessing game is always a big hit. So we can do some of that. Who is available on the Saturday, the 27th of September to join for that event?
I think I said I was a maybe last time, and I probably still need to be a maybe, but I'm just waiting on a couple of things. My kids schedule, but
Sounds good.
I can probably be done by.
And I think Melissa had said she was available. So that will be a fun one. Hopefully it'll be better weather than last year. Last year it was a deluge. And if folks have ideas, we can talk at the next meeting also, if folks have ideas for things to do or table there. And we have not sealed the deal on this one yet, but we were invited by our good friends at Wakefield Municipal Gas and Light to join them for their open house on Thursday, October 9th. So they're having an open house of their facility to talk about all the cool initiatives that they do and show off all their cool vehicles. And I don't know if they're going to show off the community solar since it's up on the roof, but they'll at least talk about it. So it's just a drop-in event, and they offered us if we wanted to have a table there since we're such close buddies with them. So I said, yeah, maybe. It is 4 to 7 on a Thursday evening, so that's a little less convenient perhaps than some other things that we do. So I want to check and see if folks are available and interested to do that one. Before we sign up.
What was the date again?
Thursday, October 9th.
I think I could do it. I think I would just prefer maybe if I had someone else also with me.
Absolutely. I mean, I will plan to be there. So yeah, cool. All right. Well, if other folks are interested, let me know, and we will tell them that we'll be there. You may get to wear one of those hats. We have several of those at home. So I think that's all we have on the calendar currently for events, unless anyone has anything else. Okay. Next, we've been talking about resilience things, and Maggie's been continuing to gather info for our pollinator and rain garden educational work. So we now have, she's made a draft of a bunch of content of both about native pollinator gardens and rain gardens that we can soon, now that, have you all seen the new town website? They're pretty. The folks in town are working very hard to move all of the website over to the new website. So we can soon ask them to put up a page with all of our pollinator and rain garden content. And then we were talking in a past meeting about putting up signs in place, like making some signs about this is a pollinator garden with like pointing to the website so that folks can learn more. Would you like to make one like this? Here's where to go to learn more. So Maggie's drafted a bunch of content there. I didn't join the meeting. Oh, but Maggie, you could show it. Would you like to, do you have it handy, and would you like to pop open your screen and show us the current draft? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Sure, 1 second.
And then for other folks, if there's anyone interested in giving it another look for any other ideas, and particularly for the signs that we're gonna like plant some lawn signs around town. That would be great to get some designy eyes on. And I'm looking at Christina, but she can't tell I'm looking at her because it's a Zoom call.
Is that working?
Yes, there you go. All right. Yeah, do you want to just sort of breeze through and point out anything particularly exciting? Sorry,
Sure. Yeah, the first part's just talking about where you should plant pollinator gardens, and then I go into what plants to pick. And I have a list of some plants with their different bloom times. And then I go into whether you want to do seeds or plants, how to prep the garden, care for it, other ways to help the pollinators. These are just some suggestions for visual appeal. And then I go into rain gardens specifically. So I just introduce them, talk about why they're important. And then this goes into how you actually build one. So again, it has location, how you prepare your soil, how to determine the size of it. Again, selecting plants. So there's another list of plants. And then caring for the garden, some common mistakes, and then some other just resources.
Yeah, I think it looks really good now with the pictures. It's certainly brings it to life more. And so I think, well, it is too bad Anne's not here. Because I think Anne had been interested in like whether the DPW could help with signs and such. So we can grab some time or just send it over to her offline and see whether the DPW wants to be involved or if this should be something that we just run with on our own. But I think we should be able to send it over to Jen and see if she can get it up on the web soon, and then we can make some signs. And I would think we can let the signs go not just on, I mean, I think the DPW can probably plant signs on town property, but if any of us have pollinator gardens or particularly in the front yards, I suppose a hidden backyard pollinator garden is less interesting to put a sign on. You know, but if we have them or want to find really good ones in town, if you have a friend or neighbor who has an especially nice looking pollinator or rain garden, we can ask if they want to host a sign. So the idea is just to build awareness, interest in doing these, and then point people to the resources so that they can do it themselves.
Even if you have a backyard pollinator garden, maybe it's not.
Yeah, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, we can absolutely be sharing about them on our social. Great.
I don't even know what a rain garden is, so I'm excited to read this material.
Yeah, and actually, as I was reading it, all of your great content, Maggie, I was feeling skeptical about whether the rain gardens on Albion are actually rain gardens, because they don't seem to me to be as low as I would think they ought to be if they were functioning rain gardens. So that might be something we explore. All right. Oh, that was just Christina, are you still there? I see that you were off video.
Yes, I was here, just having internet issues.
Okay. Would you be willing to take a look at the sign design and either make a pass at it or make any suggestions? Maggie has made a couple of sort of draft examples, but they might.
Yes, of course. Send them over.
All right. Maggie, if you don't have Christina's email, I will send it to you.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, Christina is our resident visual designer.
Happy to be.
Very, very good use of. Cool, so that's pollinator gardens. We were going to pick a different day of the week to meet at our next meeting. perhaps so that Dennis, the tree captain in town, can join us. But maybe we'll tackle that when we actually get to the end of the agenda and do our next meeting. And then the other resilience thing I wanted to mention, Melissa dug this up, the MAPC, MAPC.
Massachusetts Area Planning Council, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're maybe even Metropolitan Area Planning
Yeah.
Council. Yeah, have come out with a climate resilience playbook, which you can find at resilienceplaybook.mapc.org. But it has a whole bunch of guides and resources for resilience activities. It's a little odd. It has like oodles of them, and then it has a filter thing. So you can filter by like, is this about extreme heat or flooding or different other factors? It has project types and all sorts of different ways that you can sort of slice and dice it, including like community type. And when I chose that we are inland suburban, it takes the list of many, many things down to 2, which was not very interesting, especially because one of them is agricultural resilience outreach. And I'm not aware of any farms in Wakefield. I know we have the community gardens, but that's not quite, that quite counts. So I would suggest not filtering on that particular thing, but it has a whole bunch of ideas and projects and things. So this might be an area to explore. Feel free to take a look and dig through it and see if there are things that seem accessible to us, and maybe that's a conversation we can have over time. Yeah, so anyway, that's a new fresh resource. Any other resilience topics?
I was thinking regarding the pollinator garden, are you gonna invite like all the ESC list, like community list to participate in signage?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once we have them, I mean, maybe we either ask and see how many people would want them before we get them printed, or we print some reasonable feeling number of them, and then we can post it out to them and ask who has such a spot and could host one.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
maybe connect
absolutely.
with the Wakefield Garden Club.
Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe Friends of Lake Quannapowitt. I know they have a couple of, are they pollinator gardens or rain gardens? They have some of those, one or the other, or both of those.
Yeah.
Though I think they have their own signs up already about them.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, we
Yeah.
should reach out to anyone who is interested in.
Yeah, it would, I think, be especially helpful to find private citizens that have done rain gardens, because I think that's.
Yeah, and one thing we had talked about, and I think we'll probably run out of time to use Maggie for this, since she'll be going back to school soon. But we had talked about doing one of our library sort of community education events, particularly about pollinator and rain gardens. So that might be something to do at some point this fall, winter season, sort of in preparation for next spring. How would you think about implementing a rain garden on the property? But we need to find an appropriate expert for that. So if you know anyone who is an appropriate expert for that, let us. Cool. All right. Moving on, we can have updates from our liaisons. That's going to go quicker than usual this time. Stephen, do you have any updates from the school committee?
No, we tend to be pretty quiet in the summertime. We closed out the budget for the 24-25 year, just started the 25-26 year. I'm interested in sort of the food rescue and composting at the schools, I think and recycling for that. I'd like to maybe have a economic conversation with Dustin and sort of align on that, some of the things that Cheyenne was talking about. I do know historically it takes a strong volunteer presence to sort of make these things happen. And Cheyenne is one of those people, those
Yes.
forces.
Although we're trying to make sure she has some backup because she's currently very much a single point of failure on the food rescue.
Yep, understood. Aside from that, work continues on the new school, and that's going to be nice from a environmental standpoint. Use of the energy part, having, really not have any fossil fuels. I think we're doing a pilot program with we have to figure out if we're still talking about it or if we actually went with intent.
Oh, good.
But there was definitely there was some talk around it, and so much so that like there was like we charted it kind of thing. And so anyway, so more to follow on that. Yeah, I can. Solar panels are going up in the gap.
I heard any moment now,
I
right?
think they're doing the work currently because there's staging up around the perimeter of the ceiling. So
Aha, all
it's
right,
moving around nicely.
good. Good. I know we'd hoped that they would be up a little sooner than this, but that's very exciting. Good news. Cool.
Quick question. Sorry, Stephen, I heard you say pilot program, and then I didn't hear what it was about.
Oh, sorry. An electric bus.
An electric bus. Thank you.
That's very exciting.
But can I, is that through, or don't we rent like 100% of our busing? Is that through the,
Yeah, we contract out with a bus company, NRT. This is a different company that sort of leases these kinds of vehicles. Aside from the standard 6 buses that we run using NRT, I think it's not running transportation. Aside from those, we have a number of, I think we have 2 smaller buses, and then maybe a van. And I think we're looking at one of those.
awesome.
Right, so those are the Wakefield run.
Yeah. Yep.
Part of the fleet.
Yep.
Very cool.
And it's good because they're used for schools, they're used for special transportation between buildings and sometimes sporting events. And so for this type of thing to really get a good return on investment, you really want to be using the vehicle. If you think of like your standard like school bus, it kind of gets used in the morning and in the afternoon for an hour and a half, and then gets parked. So it'd be nice if it was actually something right.
Very good. We don't have youth council, but I will report on Ellie's behalf that the school supply drive generated a whole big mess of school supplies, and those have been distributed to some of the schools. I brought a box over to Woodville, but she was bringing them to several of the other schools that were excited about school supplies. And then the leftovers were going to that Massachusetts Teacher Resource Organization. So I think that was generally successful. I think the timing was challenging because you get the school supplies at the end of the year when everyone's done with them, but also then it's the end of the year, so no one is around to receive them. So we might, if we're gonna do it again next year, we might think about a different way to sort of stage the gather and distribute bit so that she doesn't end up with a basement full of school supplies for the whole summer. But generally successful, and we're excited to be able to do that. We have no liaisons today from DPW, Town Council, or Gas and Light, so I don't think we have any updates from any of them unless anyone is aware of anything. Next thing on the agenda, and this was just sort of on there as an open question, but as you know, the residential solar tax credit ends at the end of this calendar year, at the end of December. So I wanted to pose the question of whether there was anything we wanted to do about that. Not that we're going to change that that is the situation. If only we were so powerful. But is there anything that we want to do to help folks be aware of that, or support them if they're trying to do solar real quick, or anything like that? Does anyone have any ideas or thoughts on what we might do there?
Seems like we could have some promotional materials at the EV showcase, just as a interested population. Although I will say we're actually, personally, my family's working on that, and the solar contractor is not signing any more contracts. They're just trying to make sure they can get things done for people by the end of the year.
Right, I was gonna say, may already be due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing is it may relate to EVs and solar and the showcase. I guess I'm like, as I've seen the conversation going on about the alternate meter that can happen at houses. You can get a second meter to do off-peak charging of your but being someone that has solar and an EV, it didn't make sense for us, because if you do that, then you can't, it's on a separate circuit, and you can't charge your car using your own solar if you're going to use the second meter. So it's, when people like to talk about it, I just like to make sure they're informed, because they have sort of both things. Just know sort of how those things get put together.
Yes, I actually saw your reply about that on a Facebook post. Yeah. Yeah, and since at least at the EV showcase, Gas and Light will be there, so they can speak to the different sort of programs and incentives there. Yeah, that's a good topic. Oh, and we did at least put on our website an email that if folks wanted to talk about EVs but couldn't come to the showcase, to let us know, and we would, farm questions out to our ambassadors. And we haven't gotten any bites on that yet, so stay tuned. You're all still, on the hook if you get any questions. Oh, hi, Anne. Hi, Anne. We see that you have joined, but you're muted, perhaps. Well, if anyone else has other ideas on solar related to the tax credit, let me know. But yes, as Rebecca pointed out, we're sort of in the twilight of time for getting anything to happen. So, and we had done liaison updates, but you weren't here, so we skipped you. Do you have any updates for us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, very nice. I'm in the dark, so I have no power. So I look better in the dark anyway, so it's all good, all good. So updates, we're struggling still with the trash strike for Republic. It doesn't look like negotiations are even planned, so we are trying to come up with some ideas on how we're gonna do leaf pickup in November. And then I think we really have to come up with a plan for how we'll do trash and snow. So let's hope they settle soon, but it doesn't look great. The governor sent a letter to Republic and it has gone unanswered, so I'm not sure where that leads us. I did join a committee today with the DEP for negotiating our next trash and recycling contract. Ours doesn't go up until the June of 27, but we want to make sure we're ready and we've checked all the boxes. There's some exciting news coming about hopefully on composting and curbside that we would be interested in looking into. So I joined that committee. There's 9 sessions. They start September 4th.
Great.
That's about it from DPW this week.
Stephen, who is our new liaison from school committee, reported on solar being actively worked on the roof of the Galvin.
Well, I'm very disappointed in the company. They've missed the June 30th deadline. I haven't seen an electrician up there. I was guaranteed they would come on Tuesday. No one has shown up to connect. Now they have a new deadline of they better get it done before school starts, which they need to be done by the 29th of August. So I'm not confident that's going to happen.
Oh,
Maybe I saw the
gosh,
railings
alright.
come up. I saw railings up in and I thought it was them working.
No, the railings are just up so I don't jump off the roof. It has nothing to do with their work. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I've been on the phone every day with them this week, looking for the electricians, and they continue not to show up. So I think we'll be having a serious meeting on Monday with them.
Gosh, all right. Well,
We're missing a lot of beautiful sunshine these last,
I
it's
know.
crazy. So
Right, because I know we're excited for end of June because that would leave a couple of good, real sunny months to come, but
yeah, I'm gonna be looking for a rebate or whatever, but yeah, he understands. I had a very good talk with him yesterday. He understood my point of view, so I'm hoping that Monday we will see 15 electricians taking care of the work. So I'll keep you posted on that.
all right, sounds good. Awesome. And just for I mean, and you and I can touch base offline also, but we're good to go on the EV showcase for the 24th. So I don't know if there's someone who's gonna block off some of that
Yeah.
parking lot for us that morning.
Yep, that's great. I saw the email today. I put it on my calendar tomorrow to set someone up to block the parking lot off and be all set for that day.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah, and I think otherwise we're good to go. It should be a good event. We'll also be, we've signed up for Town Day on the Common on Saturday, September 27th. And we're attending Gas and Lights Open House on October 9th. I don't know if DPW is going to be there also, but ESC was invited to come hang out at Gas and Lights. So. So we're just going to rehash several points on the agenda now that Anne is here. And we buzzed through the content that Maggie came up with about pollinator and rain gardens, and it looks lovely. When poor Jen McDonald catches her breath, we're going to ask her to put the page up on our website. And then we had talked about getting signs made, lawn signs to put up on various pollinator and rain gardens around town, including people's own gardens that they have on their personal residences. But are you the one who we talk with about putting them up on public, any public rain garden or pollinator gardens?
So yeah, if it's a DPW project, then we can put it up. If it's not, then we just have to go to Sherry and ask, which is fine. I am working on I haven't found out yet where the 25,000 who requested that for that the earmarks coming. I heard all earmarks are on hold, so I have some questions out there. I'm waiting to hear back from the state to find out who ordered it and if we're still going to get the 25,000. I did talk to Tim Wilson, who's the engineer on the project that's going to be at Oak in Green, and he is very willing to put a pollinator garden in at the corner there. So that's exciting.
Wonderful, that's great. Very, very good. Cool. And I also, I'll send out the link, but Melissa found the MAPC recently published a resilience playbook. So there's some cool stuff in there, just FYI.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think those were all of the topics, unless there are other things that we said that we should touch base with Ann about, that anyone can see that we need to go back to. So I think we would then pick our next meeting date. And sorry to put you on the spot, do you happen to know what days of the week are good for Dennis? We talked about doing next meeting, not on a Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesday would be a good day.
Great. How do folks feel? So typically we would then be Wednesday, September 10th. That is the first full week of school. I don't know how folks feel about that.
I'm okay with that.
Wednesday, the 10th. Seeing sufficient nodding.
I'm not around that day, but Dennis can go without me. He probably would like that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yep. Works for me too.
Sorry, what did you say, Stephanie?
I also agree with the date.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Fantastic. So we will plan for that 7:30 on September 10th. And would you put me in email touch with Dennis so I can invite him?
Yes, and I'll check in with him tomorrow. He's off tomorrow and Monday, but he'll be back on Tuesday, and I will confirm with him that date's okay.
Sounds good. Wonderful. Any matters not anticipated? Hear and see none. I think that wraps us up. Would anyone like to suggest that we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Thank you. Cool. All right, let's do that then. Anne,
Yes.
Dina,
Yes.
Lily,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Stefan,
Yes.
Stephen,
Yes.
Tommy,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a lovely rest of your August. See some of you on Happy Injuries.